Hello everyone and welcome back to another BCP library video. My name is Katy and this is Charlie, and today we're going to be doing some activities to do with the composer Mozart. Mozart was a composer that lived in the 1700s, and I'm going to be showing you how to make this violin out of some cardboard. Also going to be practicing writing music on some music paper that you can print off, and also I'm going to show you how to make this toilet roll tube Mozart. But first of all, let's learn about who Mozart was. Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart was born in Salzburg, Austria on January the 27th, 1756. His father, Leopold Mozart, was a violinist and a composer who wrote a famous violin manual. Wolfgang, or Wolfel as his family called him, was what we call a child prodigy. He composed his first piece of music at the age of 5, and he had his first piece published when he was 7. He wrote his first opera when he was only 12. By the time Wolfgang was 6, he was an excellent pianist and violinist. He and his sister Anna Maria, also known as Nannerl, travelled all over Europe performing for royalty. As a child, Mozart was given a very high honour from the Pope whilst he was in Rome. This was the Order of the Golden Spur. As a young man, Mozart tried but failed to establish himself as a composer in Paris. He returned to Salzburg, where he was briefly employed in the court of the Archbishop of Salzburg. He was restless, aware of his genius, and thought Salzburg was too small for his talent. He relocated to Vienna, where he met some success. He married Constance Weber and fathered 2 sons. During his lifetime, Mozart wrote more than 600 musical works. His most famous and treasured compositions include 22 operas, 18 masses, 5 violin concertos, 27 concert arias, 41 symphonies, 27 concertos and 23 string quartets. Mozart's music, like that of Joseph Haydn, is very best known for its classical music style. Mozart was the first great composer to write music for the piano, an instrument which had only just become popular in the late 1700s. Mozart's operas are among his greatest works. He understood people's characters very well and was able to write music which tells us everything about the personalities in the operas. The 3 operas in which he set words by Lorenzo da Ponte were Don Giovanni, Le Nozze di Figaro, which means the marriage of Figaro, and Così fan tutte. Each of these operas included some very clear ensembles in which several characters were singing at once, each showing his or her view of the situation. Just before he died, Mozart was working on another opera called The Magic Flute, which is one of his best works and is very popular today. It is written in German, not Italian, like most of his other operas. In some ways, it is like an English pantomime. At the end of September 1791, The Magic Flute was given its first performance. On November the 20th, 1791, Mozart suddenly became very ill with a fever, and he was racked with pain. His arms and legs were severely swollen. In the following days, his health significantly deteriorated. He died on December the 5th after lapsing into a coma. He was only 35 years old. The death certificate states he dies of severe miliary fever. Exactly which disease led to Mozart's death has been a mystery for the last 200 years. There are links in the description below where you can find out more about Mozart from websites. Also, you can learn about how to write music, and also some more videos to watch about Mozart too. So now we're going to make our very own Mozart, and you need some red paper, some white paper, a toilet roll tube, some cotton wool, some scissors, glue, some pens and some googly eyes if you have some, otherwise you can just draw them on. So what you need to do is you need to take your toilet roll tube and measure roughly halfway on your piece of paper in a couple of places. This doesn't have to be perfect, it's just giving you a guide of where you need to cut. So then you want to cut a strip of red paper that is about half of your toilet roll tube. Just cut it out with some scissors, and then when you're done, we're going to wrap it around and it will make Mozart's coat, because Mozart in a lot of his pictures famously wears a red coat. So that is what we're doing, and to stick it down you just need a normal glue stick. That will work fine, or you can use school glue, whichever you have is absolutely fine. So once we have wrapped around his coat, we need to make him a collar. And for this you need a white piece of paper, and you will just need to draw on a kind of frilly shape, because he had quite a nice frilly collar back in the 18th century. So I'm just going to draw a shape like this. And I'm going to add some extra frills because we want to give him a frilly collar. And then we can cut it out. And I'm also going to add a bit of gold as well to mine to make him that little bit more fabulous. So then we need to stick it on with some glue again, and a glue stick will work, or you can use school glue, it's up to you. And then we need to draw on his coat. So I'm going to draw a line down the middle, which will act as the opening of his coat. And then I'm going to draw some buttons on the side. You can either stick some stickers on if you have stickers, maybe some gems or sequins if you want to, it's totally up to you. You can make him as sparkly and fabulous as you like. And then it's time to stick on our googly eyes. If you don't have googly eyes, you can just draw yours on or cut some out of paper. You just need a dab of glue and put it onto the toilet roll tube. There's one and there's two. And now we just need to give him a smiley face. Oh, hang on, there's one thing missing, and I think that's his hair. What we do for his hair, for his signature hair, is you add some school glue all the way around the rim of the tube, like this, and then take a piece of cotton wool, slightly break it, but not too much, just slightly break it apart, but don't fully break it apart, just stretch it out and then stick that over the top, and that's the top part. Then you need another piece of cotton wool and break off 2 circles and put those beside his head with some glue. And then you need to add a ponytail shape to the back. And I've added a ribbon as well. Just tied a ribbon around the cotton wool and added a ponytail shape to the back and tightened it up. And this is a very fabulous hairdo. You don't have to add the ponytail if you don't want to. It's totally up to you. But I thought it would look pretty cool. So there is his ponytail. And as a finishing touch, I've drawn some musical notes on a piece of white paper, a tiny piece of white paper, and stuck it there so it looks like he's got some music with him. And there we have our Mozart. He's all done. So why don't you give it a go and make your very own toilet roll Mozart? So now I'm going to show you how you can practice writing music, and you can print this sheet of paper off. In the description below there is a link, and there are 5 lines because that's how many lines a musical stave has. You can practice drawing. I'm drawing a treble clef and drawing some other musical notes, and there are some links in the description where you can learn how to read and write musical symbols, and you can use this page to practice. You can maybe write some tunes and pretend you are Mozart. I'm practicing a treble clef at the moment. That is the fancy musical clef on the screen. And we start by going on the second line up, doing a swirl all the way up and down. Maybe you could do a row of treble clefs on your page, and you can also colour in Charlie dressed as Mozart as well. So go and have a look in the description below and find some musical symbols, and you can make your very own music page here. And I think Charlie is very, very happy with this, and he's just going to go and have a look and try and sing the tunes that I've written. So now for the violin, you're going to need a piece of cards, some pens, some school glue, some scissors, some white thread. And what you need to do is draw these shapes onto the cardboard. So we need the violin body, and if this is the shape that it is, and the neck of the violin, the bridge, and the bow, and this part here. And if you want to, you can pause the video and copy the shapes that I have drawn. So I'm just colouring mine in. You can paint yours if you want to. I've just got a brown felt tip, and I'm colouring in the violin brown and the neck part black, and I'm going to add the swirls that the violin has. There we go. And I'm adding a chin rest on this side of the violin, and there's the neck, and I'm colouring my bridge in gold. And what you need to do then is cut all of these pieces out very carefully. It can be a little bit tricky to cut out cardboard, so do take your time with it. So cut them out very carefully, and then you will have all of your pieces looking like this. And there's Mozart there getting very excited about his violin. So we then need to glue all the pieces on. So first of all, I'm gluing the neck of the violin. There we go. I'm just going to stick it down here like that. And then we need to add the other two parts. So this is where the other two parts go. And once you have glued them down and it has dried, you then need to get your string like that. And this could be quite fiddly, so you need to put a bit of glue at the top of the neck and a bit of glue at the bottom of the violin, and add 4 strings if you can, because violins have 4 strings. And you might have to do a bit of arranging, and once they are glued on, you can then trim your strings. Once the glue has dried, you can trim your strings off like that, and then the bottom, and then the violin is done. There we go, and we just need to do the bow of the violin now. So for the bow, it's a lot easier if you take a piece of string and wrap it round the 2 parts. There we go, rather than just trying to stick it on, it will work much better. So there is the violin and the bow, it's all done. You won't be able to play music on it, but you can pretend to play music, and I know just who would love this violin, who it is the right shape for. There we go, Charlie is loving his new violin. I think his new name should be Mozart. There we go, Charlie, you go and play your violin. So those are the activities. Don't forget you can print some music paper off if you go to the link in the description. And there are also some links to more information about Mozart and some activities and some more videos that you can watch if you're interested in learning more. But that is all for this video. Why don't you have a go at making some Mozart activities yourself at home? And we'll see you in the next BCP library video.